Hey everybody, Hunter Fisher, Trapper, Trader, Guide, Scout, and Interpreter, and just a country cook, Steve Hall, here in Nashville, Tennessee, along with pretty Miss Sheila running that camera. Hi, Sheila.
Hi.
Today we're going to make baked eggplant parmesan. But it doesn't only have Parmesan cheese, it has mozzarella and basil and marinara sauce. And oh man, I've got a couple of eggplants that I've already sliced up. Come on over, let's get started. Okay, I bought 2 eggplants at the store because I wanted to slice 6 evenly shaped pieces out of the middle of each one of them here, because I'm going to do 6 of them, but it requires 2 slices of eggplant for each serving. Now the first thing I want to do here is I want to hit both sides of these with some salt and put them in my little colander over here. This is one of those things that requires sitting around for an hour and waiting, but it's going to have to be what it's got to be. Now you can lay these all out on a cookie sheet and salt them and flip them all over, but I just thought I'll do it in my hand. Put that salt on there. What we're trying to do is pull the moisture out of these, and then we're going to rinse them off with cold water and pat them down, then we'll be ready to bread them. But I got 12 evenly sliced pieces of eggplant, and you can see how thick I sliced them, a little under 1/4 of an inch. Alright. Or maybe right at 1/4, I don't know, but about that thick. We're going to put these in here. Okay, I got those out of that eggplant. Then I'm going to get these 6 right here and salt both sides. I sliced them up before we got on camera. Make sure that that would happen. This is really a delicious recipe. Wait till you try it. I haven't had eggplant done this way before. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really, really good. A lot of cheese and marinara sauce and all kinds of stuff happening. All right, almost done here. I've got these sitting in this colander here over here, and it's going to sweat over the next hour. And we're going to help it do that in 2 ways. One, of course, with the salt that we put on them here. And we're going to take this saucer right here and we're going to set that on top for weight, and then we're going to set it in this bowl so the moisture doesn't go south on us. Alright, we're going to pop this in the refrigerator and let it sit for an entire hour, and we'll see you then, because then we're going to take them, rinse it off real good, pat it dry, and it should have pulled a lot of moisture out of this eggplant. See you in an hour. Alright, our eggplants are fresh out of the strainer. They were in that salt for an hour. We rinsed them off and blotted them good with paper towels. And before I throw this away, I wanted to show you this. Look at the liquid that came out of just these 12 little slices in that hour. I wanted to show that to you before I threw it away. I thought that is truly amazing what salt will pull out of something like that. Now what we're going to do here is, I'm going to try to switch places with this. I've got 3 or 4 eggs that Sheila ran through the blender, and instead of whisking eggs up, in all my recipes I love to use the blender in the kitchen because it just makes it so smooth and so uniform. If you try to whisk it, you might get a little more yolk over here, a little less over there. Now it's just absolutely uniform all the way through. We're going to dip our eggplants in there and into Italian breadcrumbs. Now you can use regular Italian breadcrumbs, you can use panko, you can use whatever you want. And we're going to lay them on a cookie sheet. Then we're going to pop these babies in the oven. We got it preheated to 400 degrees for about 10 minutes on each side till they get nice and brown, and then we're going to stack us up a recipe that's going to be so good you won't believe it. Let me get these all from the egg wash into the Italian breadcrumbs and onto the cookie sheet, and we'll see in just a couple of minutes. Thank you, Sheila.
You're welcome.
And here is the last one. Look how nice and uniform that egg is. If you're going to do an egg wash for anything, put it in the blender. Forget that whisk. It just blends it up so nice it sticks everywhere. Perfect. And there we go. Even though the tips of my fingers are big as quarters, we are done with this process. We're going to pop this in the oven at 400 degrees for 10 minutes each side and get them nice and brown. Then we're going to start building our little delicious baked eggplant parmesan for dinner tonight. Right, Sheila?
Right.
See you in a little bit. Fresh from the oven, our eggplants look just nice and golden brown on both sides. But I got a tip for you. I had them in the oven at 400 degrees, and after about 10 minutes, they still weren't getting brown on top. So I jacked it up to 425, went to 15 minutes, and they were starting to get a little bit brown. But I got a little nervous, and I thought, wait a minute. I took a pair of tongs and I turned it over, and the bottom was nice and golden brown. So don't be watching the top. If you wait till the tops get nice and golden brown, the bottom will be burnt. So I turned them all over and gave them about another 10 minutes at 425, and they're just nice and golden brown. So come on over, let's get started on building this delicious baked eggplant parmesan dish. All right, we got our glass 9 by 13 baking dish here. And I got some marinara sauce, just whatever was on the shelf at the store, and we're going to coat the bottom of this so there's a layer of this sauce on here first. I already poured about half of this in a dish over there, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. Let's get this on here so we got a base for our eggplants. Perfect. About half and half. Let me see what this is. This is a, roll this around. This is a 24-ounce jar. So buy a 24-ounce jar and pour half of it over there, and the other half can go in the bottom of this dish here. Perfect. Now we're going to start building this delicious recipe. We're going to put 6 of these babies in here because we're going to go double-decker with them. I cannot wait to try this dish. I'll bet it's outstanding.
Me either.
This is Sheila's kind of vegetables and goodies. Now, we got 6 of them in there, and remember, we kept 6 over here because we sliced from the very beginning. We sliced up 12 so we'd have an even dozen of these because this works out perfect. Now we're going to put a little more sauce. This is that other half that we reserved over on the side in between here. If we have to rob some out of the pan, we will, but I don't think so. I think we're going to be about perfect. Now here's where you got all kinds of options when it comes to cheese. The recipe that I'm going off of actually calls for mozzarella cheese to be sliced and laid in here and a little bit of Parmesan put on top. But I found this at the store. Can you see that, Sheila?
Yes.
Mozzarella and Parmesan both blended together in here. It says pizza blend, but it's still mozzarella and This way?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, because if it gets a reflection, it won't look good. Thank you, Sheila. But it's got mozzarella and Parmesan both, and it's not sliced, but it is shredded fine, so I'm going to pile it up. And if some of it runs off into the sides, so be it. We're going to pile this nice and high on here and then kind of push it down. This is kind of our quick and easy sliced mozzarella and sprinkled Parmesan done right out of the bag. You know me when it comes to that easy peasy stuff. Now we got to put some basil on here. Boy, that basil smells so good. I was chopping it up here. Check this out. A little bit of basil. Boy, that smells just wonderful. Wowee. I'm going to go a little heavy on it. Not too much, but enough so you can tell it's in there. And here's the key to this. We're going to double deck it, but we're not going to put basil on the top till after it comes out of the oven. Now we got that all set. And again, you could use sliced mozzarella and then Parmesan, but I just did the 2 of them out of the bag there. We're going to put this on top of there. Almost like making a little eggplant hamburger, isn't it? And there's our full 12 slices of eggplant with all the moisture pulled out of them and all the doctoring that we did to them, and some more sauce on each one. Does that look terrific, Sheila, or what?
That's really good.
I know it. You know what we're having for dinner tonight?
Yeah, hurry up.
Shit, hurry up.
Yeah.
Golly. Take your time, hurry up, she says. All right. Okay, now it's time for that cheese back on top of each one of them. And I got one other little surprise that I kind of got to thinking about. Now get this on top of here. Now we don't want to put basil on top until it comes out of the oven, so it has fresh basil sprinkled on top. And look at that. That just about used the whole bag that I bought at the store. Was perfect. I'm sitting in there trying to figure out why these things won't turn brown, and right in front of me is staring at me is some beautiful Roma tomatoes. So I took a little pepper, no salt, just a little bit of pepper. You know me, I love pepper. And a little bit of olive oil, and I coated them. And I'm going to lay these down in here. They have nothing to do with this recipe, but I don't care. Don't they look delicious, Sheila?
Yeah, they do.
Laid in there.
Colorful.
But I want a little bit of baked tomatoes with it. And it just so happens that I have the right number to feed in there on the edges. Look at there. Wow, we need to turn him around so he does the right thing. That way they all look exactly the same. Get him turning out, kicking out. There we go. Look at that. Does that look absolutely wonderful or what? And again, no basil on top, just in the middle until we bake it. Now we're going to bake this in the oven at 400 degrees for 25 minutes. Now this should be easy to watch. When that cheese gets all gooey and melted and starts to turn a little brown, we'll bring it back here and we'll dish it up. See you in about 25 minutes. Oh man. Look at this, Sheila. Does that look wonderful or what?
It does.
Now it's time for that second little layer of basil. Them tomatoes look good in there. That's not even in the recipe. I was just sitting there and those Roma tomatoes were staring at me on the counter. I thought, you know what? There's going to be a little bit of that extra marinara sauce around these eggplants that don't have anything to do. I'm going to give them something to do. They can help simmer those tomatoes, so we can have that as well. And wowee. What do you think, babe?
It's awesome.
Put a little bit of basil on the tomatoes for that matter.
Very colorful, too.
Isn't that just wonderful? Wow. All right, that little pause right there was because we were taking some pictures for the thumbnail for the channel. And you know what? I have decided that Sheila has done enough dishes for today. So I'm going to sample it right out of here instead of plating it up and giving her another dish to wash. I've got to try this. This is very hot, so I'm going to be very careful. Look at that. Let me let this cool off for just a second. Okay, I blew on it for about a minute, so it's good to go. Here we go. Let's give this a try. Wow, that is so delicious. And I'm going to try a little piece of this tomato over here. Some of this cheese ran off to the side, I see. A little bit of marinara sauce. And a little bit of a baked tomato floating around over there doing nothing. Hold on one second. Sheila, we have to end this recipe because we got to plate this up and have dinner tonight. You will love this while it's still nice and hot and delicious. It is terrific.
I've been trying to get you to hurry up.
Okay, thanks a lot. Wow, I've been nibbling on everything over here while Sheila moved the camera. Some of them tomatoes, some of that eggplant. You've got to try this recipe. It is absolutely delicious. So I'm going to end the recipe so we can eat this. I hope you enjoyed it, and we really hope you subscribe to our channel. Little Shotgun Red's face will pop up over here in just a little bit. When it does, just click on it. It'll say subscribe, and next to the word subscribe, we hope you click on that bell, because then you'll be notified every time we come out with a new recipe. We'll put a recipe up over here that I hope you really enjoy. And is this the most delicious baked eggplant parmesan / mozzarella / tomatoes in there you ever ate? If it ain't, it ought to be. It's absolutely fantastic, I'll tell you. And all the ingredients and the process of how you do it and everything are right below the video. Just go below the video. It might even say show more, because it only gives you like 1 or 2 lines. When you click on it, then it all drops down. You can copy it, paste it. You never have to go to a website to get any of our recipes. They're right under the video. But if you are out snooping around, take a look at www.shotgunred.com because we got a lot of neat stuff there where you can find the wine that we have, Shotgun Red wine in Tennessee only, I'm sorry. But it also has some Shotgun Red dolls and videos of our live performance and a lot of neat stuff. Check it out, but it's not necessary to go there to get the recipe. It's right here underneath the video. Man, I'll tell you, this is terrific. Did you enjoy this recipe, Sheila?
I did.
It is absolutely fantastic. We'll see you next time right here on Cooking with Shotgun Red. Thanks for subscribing to our channel. Give us a thumbs up, all that kind of stuff. Say goodnight, Sheila.
Good night, Sheila.
Oh, man, you're going to love this. It's so good. I think I'll just eat out of the dish.